The depth and width of lies told by whites in order to manipulate the world to believe in white supremacy is built so much on falsehood that the size and geological locations on the globe had to be altered and falsely indoctrinated into our minds through our American education system in order to compensate for white inferiority complex about their origins and relevance.
Should we begin?
Yes. Plain and simple.
Should we begin?
Yes. Plain and simple. We'd like President Bartlett to aggressively support legislation that would make it mandatory for every public school in America to teach geography using the Peters projection map instead of the traditional Mercator.
Give me $200 and it's done.
Really?
No. Why are we changing maps?
Because, CJ, the Mercator projection has fostered European imperialist attitudes for centuries and created an ethnic bias against the Third World.
Let's be clear, The West Wing, one of my favorite shows, is a fictional scripted show based on a fictional president. However, this scene is written based off factual information.
Really?
The German cartographer, Mercator, originally designed this map in 1569 as a navigational tool for European sailors.
The map enlarges areas at the poles to create straight lines of constant bearing or geographic direction.
So it makes it easier to cross an ocean.
But
Yes.
it distorts the relative size of nations and continents.
Are you saying the map is wrong?
Oh dear, yes.
Paul Peters' projection was first used by Arthur H. Robertson in a pamphlet put out by the American Cartographic Association in 1986. Maps based on the projection are prompted by UNESCO, and they are also widely used by British schools.
Look at Greenland.
Okay.
Now look at Africa.
Okay.
The two land masses appear to be roughly the same size.
Yes.
Would it blow your mind if I told you that Africa is in reality 14 times larger?
Yes?
The U.S. state of Massachusetts and Boston Public Schools began phasing in these maps in March 2017, becoming the first public school districts and states in the United States to adopt Gall-Peter maps as their standard.
Here we have Europe, drawn considerably larger than South America. When it's 6.9 million square miles, South America is almost double the size of Europe's 3.8 million.
Alaska appears 3 times as large as Mexico, when Mexico is larger by 0.1 million square miles.
Germany appears in the middle of the map when it's in the northernmost quarter of the Earth.
Wait. Relative size is one thing, but you're telling me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
Where is it?
I'm glad you asked. The Peters projection.
It has fidelity of axis.
Fidelity of position.
East-west lines are parallel and intersect north-south axes at right angles.
What the hell is that?
It's where you've been living this whole time.
The Gall-Peter projections archived notoriety in the late 20th century as the centerpiece of a controversy about political implications of map designs.
Should we continue?
Uh-huh.
So, you're probably wondering what all of this has to do with social equality.
No, I'm wondering where France really is.
Guys, we want to thank you very much for coming in.
Hang on, we're gonna finish this.
Okay.
What do maps have to do with social equality, you ask?
She asked.
Notice neither of the white liberal government officials had no interest in learning how the distortion of the map aided in the broader sense of inequality, but only concerned with trivial questions, and both attempted to avoid the issue of inequality.
Salvatore Natoli of the National Council for Social Studies argues, in our society we unconsciously equate size with importance and even power.
I'm going to check in on Tommy.
Go.
These guys find Brigadoon on that map, you'll call me, right?
Probably not.
Okay.
When
I need you to be clear. This is the typical way that white, especially male, deal when confronted with the issue of how they are given white privilege. This is the typical manner in which they deal with the issues of inequality is avoidance. Never accepting that they have their position due to white privilege.
third world countries are misrepresented, they're likely to be valued less. When Mercator maps exaggerate the importance of Western civilization, when the top of the map is given to the Northern Hemisphere and the bottom is given to the Southern, then people will tend to adopt top and bottom attitudes.
But wait, where else could you put the northern hemisphere but on the top?
On the bottom.
How?
Like this.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's freaking me out.
I need you to understand that they went as far as to flip the map all the way upside down in order to place you beneath them. This is how manipulative, deceptive these Europeans are. We have to acknowledge who and what we are up against as a people in order for us to hurdle the obstacles that they place before us. The cycle manipulation is deep. The methods they went to in order to create a falsehood of white supremacy is deeper than many of us actually know.